Yes, I think we'll touch more on the US, China summer camps just at the end of the call and the international programs. But I
Yes,
think
of course. Yeah.
what's relevant with Vietnam and that kind of triggered this thought in my head was I think it'd be good if you spent a minute or two telling who is this for, because obviously Vietnam is maybe not for some people, but Thailand might be, generalize. Who do we help? Who are our customers? Who do we turn into teachers? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, look, if you're listening to this, if you're watching it, thanks for your interest. And I do Zoom calls and I go to lots of universities around the UK, and I always love talking to people about it because I think it's such a great experience. So, effectively, it's for everyone. It's for everyone that's interested in doing something like this and wants to get involved. I always kind of say like when it comes to teaching and or working at a camp, we can have a 30-minute or 40-minute video call about your CV and like your background and if it's right for you. But I think what it all boils down to fundamentally is, does it excite you? And if you go into a classroom, would you like being there? And it doesn't matter if you're going to become a teacher in the longer run or if you want to do it for 1 year or for 6 months. As long as you want to be there at that moment in time, you're going to have fun and you're going to be engaging, you'll have a very good chance of success. So basically, it's for everyone that wants to work with us. We really are keen to provide a wide array of options. So there are options for people who are graduates. There's options for people who are not graduates. There's options for native speakers. There's options for non-native speakers, and there's options for people who are very experienced and want to maybe work at an international school. But there's also options for people who have no teaching experience whatsoever, which was basically the boat I was actually in. And I think similar for you, right? When you went, like not too much
No
teaching.
teaching experience,
Yeah.
none. Yeah. I think, that's key. I think it really is. We're motivated to help everyone. I think in the past, you tell me, but it's predominantly graduates, kind of early 20s. But I think in recent years, I've noticed such a wide variety of people from all over different countries, different ages, different backgrounds. And I think that's something that excites me. I know excites you too.
Definitely, yeah.
We will talk about the negative side of this. I won't go into it now, a bit later on, about some restrictions that certain places have. I think we should talk more about that later. But yeah, I echo that. I think it's really, really exciting when you send me people's information, their CVs or bios. I love to see where they're from and their backgrounds, what they've done, and yeah, you get to speak to them all. I guess that's part of your job you enjoy
Yeah,
interviewing.
I love that. Absolutely. I think it's so interesting. I think every day when I think about my day and I plan the day and I think about the things I look forward to about it, the interviews, like candidate interviews are near or at the top of the list just because I think it's so interesting. And like I said, I think from my point of view, we're going to have a conversation in detail about your CV, about experiences you have, how you might deal with certain situations. But I think, for me, like what it kind of comes down to is like if we're having a really engaged conversation and you are motivated, you're reliable, you show up for the call, you commit to the program, you pay a fee or the holding deposit. I feel like, you're showing that you want to make this happen and you've got what it takes to happen. But yeah, the calls are just incredibly interesting because I talk to so many people who have different backgrounds, different stages of life, like you said. Nowadays, I think there's more variety. I sometimes talk to people who got a graduate job, worked in finance or at a bank, for 10 or 15 years, and they just feel like I'm not getting out of life what I want doing this. I want to do something a bit different. So you get that. Talk to sometimes people who work for the police and want to kind of change it up and do something different. Obviously, like you said, a big group still remains, like quite recent graduates. That is quite a big group. Um, but also, yeah, in all sorts of part of the world. And yeah, I really enjoy it. I mean, just hearing a bit about life in Texas or in Johannesburg or or in all sorts of different places that I talk to people about. I find that really fascinating.
And just interesting, how many people do you normally speak to? Like in a week, is it same each day, or does it kind of some days are really busy, some days are quiet?
Yeah, it varies. I think, we can apply for all these programs to have slightly different deadlines, but I think naturally quite a lot start either in the summer or in August, September. So let's say the first months of the year, January, February, March, April, those tend to be the busiest. I think usually I have maybe 10 calls around that time of year. Now it's a bit less. I have two or three today. So, but yeah, it's usually busier times. It's maybe 10 to 10 a week, and quieter times it's maybe
Okay.
five, six a week.
Not 10 a day, that would be a lot.
No, no, not to do. It is getting more, so we'll maybe get to that point, yeah, hopefully, but not now.
Yeah, that'd be great. I
Yeah.
mean, we wouldn't be complaining, would we?